Ba-na-na-na-na-na-na. Man, that theme should precede this episode of Friendo Club Wrestling. Of course, WWE has released what they think are the top 50 Wrestlemania matches of all time. But what really matters is what we think over here at Friendo Club Wrestling, Larson.
That's right. I'm looking at so I've been kind of keeping tabs on what they deem are the 50 best matches. And, of course, like nearly immediately, I'm like, nah, that shouldn't be on there. No, that shouldn't be on there. Not that high, at least.
Yeah, right? Like, okay, what was now that you have the entire list in front of you, what's the first most egregious thing that sticks out? Because, like, looking at the top 10 here, nothing like is too out of pocket necessarily.
I mean, are we just sticking to the top 10, or are we the list in its
entirety?
entirety?
the whole thing. But I'm just saying, starting off like the top 10 is like fine.
Here's the thing. I don't know why this is. Historically, going back for years, WWE is consistently undervalued end of an era. It's never been towards the top of any of their best WrestleMania lists.
Yeah.
Ever.
Yeah.
And I don't know why, because it is a culmination of 4 years of story, and it's like expertly executed.
You know what's even more wild than that? It's obvious that the end of an era participants, if you look at the number one match, for example, ended up being Undertaker versus Shawn Michaels at 25. That's the thing that kicked off the end of an era saga, right? So it's like they put that match at number one. This year has been all about Triple H. Is there a Triple H match in the top 10?
No,
there isn't. That's weird. Like, it's not even, because I agree with you. I think End of an Era is the best WrestleMania match of all time. That's call it bias, call it predilection, whatever you want. But like, in terms of the going in Raw math, which they kind of adhere to a degree. If you look at some of this stuff, like they highly regard Legacy because they have an Ultimate Warrior match in the top 10, which granted, it's the Savage one. It's a good match. Yeah. But like Rock versus Hogan is number 3. Good match, but huge on legacy and star power.
Exactly.
And so, like, I'm kind of surprised at that end of an era. Like, you think, number one, let me ask you this. Who do you think put this list together now that we have the entire thing?
Oh, probably so in the digital department. I don't know. They did. They sent a Google form to the entirety of WWE headquarters and do like tiered rankings of your favorite WrestleMania match.
Do you think Triple H saw this list in advance?
I don't even know if he knows this list exists.
What are you talking about, bro? I will guarantee you he looked at this list and passed and like gave it the green light.
I'll give you one piece of evidence why I know that's not the case, because there's not a Triple H match in the top 10, Steve.
Yeah, but is that his way of being like, all right, you know what? They've gone way too far with my Hall of Fame stuff. So I'm okay with this.
No.
You don't think so?
No, the highest ranked Triple H match is End of an Era at 18.
At 18, really?
Yeah, that's the highest ranked Triple H match.
Let me ask you this. Are you surprised that the first match to get into the Hall of Fame is number 2 on the list?
Yeah, that was surprising. I would have swore that. I would have bet money that was going to be number 1. That's a lot of people's favorite WrestleMania match.
Can we now then bet money on what the iconic moment that gets in next year is going to be? It's got to be
$10,000 of Shawn Michaels versus Undertaker at WrestleMania 25.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too. Let's
take out a second mortgage on my house just to make that wager.
Hey, a quick aside.
What?
You probably didn't get to the point in the WrestleMania 9 documentary when they talked about betting on the matches, right?
I did. Yeah, they had to take the odds down. Yeah.
That was hilarious. That they had odds up and people wanted to bet on them.
I like they had the disclaimer for entertainment purposes only too. On
yeah, right.
People still wanted to bet money.
When you heard dude say, "I had to run back to the floor manager," did you think? Because I thought, oh, did they actually take bets on this shit?
That's what I thought they were going to say at first. Is like, well, people are willing to bet money on this. So
right, I thought that's what they were going to say. So I've got an airing of grievances to the tune of 12 items.
Wow, that's quite a laundry list of grievances.
Well, we sat, we were like, hey, we're gonna do a video here, and I was like, all right, well, let me have something to talk about. You know, what my number one grievance about this list is, man? It's not End of an Era. That's actually number 5 on my list.
Then what's
End of an
number
Era.
1?
Number 1 is there's no Firefly Funhouse, but there is the Boneyard match. That pisses me off. That Firefly Funhouse match was a piece of art.
It really was.
That was literal
cinematic masterpiece.
It was. Like, the Boneyard match is fun for a goof, but it's like, really? There's like, they put a match on here with Gallows and Anderson? That's weird.
Yeah, no.
Number 2, Ronda Rousey, Charlotte, and Becky are in the top 10, but like Rhea Charlotte is like number 16 or something like that.
Yeah.
Like, that should be flipped. I think the Ronda Charlotte Becky match in terms of legacy being the first like main event.
Yeah.
You know, with the women, I think that's fine.
Yeah.
They had that great bit in the build with the cops showing up. Mm-hmm. But like, the finish was kind of a mess on this one.
Yeah.
It was like kind of confusing.
Well, the
match is fine, but it's not Charlotte Rhea.
Yeah, well, I mean, for that matter, Sasha and Bianca
Yeah.
should be higher than that one too. I get it.
I agree.
You know, the history of, you know, the first time the women's match is main event at WrestleMania. As you said, legacy weighs heavy in terms of seemingly ranking these matches.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah.
So I get it in that respect.
Yeah. Next up, they have Stone Cold Rock from 17.
Yeah.
Higher than 19. That's a personal thing for me. I prefer the 19 match.
See, the 17 match is really, really good until the end.
It is a really good match. It's just to me, it is so ruined by the finish.
Mm-hmm.
It's so ruined by that image of Stone Cold and Vince shaking hands.
Yeah.
Other problems I have on this. I understand, but Warrior Hogan is really high on this match. On this list. Where is it?
There's that, and honestly, the Iron Man match, the main event of WrestleMania 12, Shawn Michaels and Bret Hart.
That's at number 14.
It's 14. That should be much lower.
It should be. That is just ahead of Hogan versus Warrior, which is like a bizarrely good match for the participants. Like, I don't remember if they did any drop toe holds, but it's like a good match. And it's high on legacy. But, like, you know, they always call this, it's a passing of the torch, which I know that's what it was meant to be. But in reality, it really wasn't.
No.
You know, like, everybody thought that it would be. What do you keep looking at over there?
What are you worried about? You worry about yourself.
I don't know. I'm worried about whatever's going on over there. Worried about an intruder, perhaps?
No.
What do you think of this? Roman versus Cody from last year is at number 6.
What's called recency bias, Steve.
What do you think about the night 1 main event from last year being on this list?
It's called recency bias, Steve.
It's at number 20?
Yeah, it's awfully high. It was a good match. It was a lot of fun.
It was fine, but like Kurt Angle versus Shawn Michaels is lower than that match.
Yeah, that shouldn't be the case.
And in fact, at number 21, they've got Ronda Rousey and Kurt Angle versus Triple H and Stephanie. Fine match.
It's really fun. It's a fun match.
But better than Kurt Angle versus HBK?
I mean, for that matter, you got Shawn Michaels' retirement match against Undertaker at WrestleMania 26 at 26.
Yeah, that was weird. That
should be much higher. That match is not dramatically worse than their match at 25.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. I'll be honest with you, this might be a hot take. I don't know. Kevin Owens versus Stone Cold should not be on this list. It shouldn't.
Yeah, I don't disagree.
It really shouldn't be. It's a brawl.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it turned into a match, but it's just, I don't know. That shouldn't be on there. Another grievance here of mine. Where's Bam Bam Bigelow versus Lawrence Taylor? It's a pretty good match. And it was a main event.
Yeah, it was the main event.
Are you surprised that Sid versus Undertaker's not on here?
Not at all.
Me neither. He shit himself during that.
Yeah,
match,
that's a long, tedious, boring match that hardly anyone ever talks about.
Kind of like the Iron Man match. But that's here at number 14.
Yeah.
Also, are you surprised that there's no Bret Hart versus Yokozuna on this match?
No, I'm not surprised at all.
Not a very good match.
Mm-mm.
You remember the finish that match was?
What, at WrestleMania 10?
Yeah.
Wasn't it that Yokozuna missed the move off the top and then Bret just covered him?
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Yep.
The biggest one of my biggest grievances here though is where's Miz versus Shane McMahon?
Yeah, that's a good question.
That really should be on here.
Can you imagine the thumbnail with George Mazan himself squaring up?
Wait, was it Miz versus Shane? No, wait, yeah. What the one where Snoop Dogg had to take over?
Oh, you mean the one where Shane tore his quads?
Yeah, that one.
That was just, 2 years ago?
Yeah, I know.
Oh, I thought you meant when Shane was feuding with Miz and George Mazan gets in the ring and squares up on Shane.
Yeah, that should be on here too. Wait, who is Shane McMahon supposed to be fighting? Wasn't it Miz? Wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
And then Snoop Dogg beat Miz instead.
Yeah, that's correct.
That's weird. Miz is like a 2-time Grand Slam champion.
Yeah.
That's a weird situation right there.
So there's another one that I thought was awfully high. Where did it go? It was Triple H versus Seth Rollins at WrestleMania 33.
I mean,
again, a good match. Oh, that was at 44.
Yeah, that's not that high.
No, but the fact that it's on here, when it's a good match.
Yeah, it's good. You know what's weird to me? Kind of is that the Usos and Usos versus Owens and Zayn isn't. It's only at 30.
Mm-hmm.
That was a really good match.
It was really good.
It was a main event. You got two best friends versus two brothers, bloodline stuff, and yet it's only at 30.
Yeah, it's interesting, huh?
Like, I get, like, for example, at 25, you got Piper versus Bret Hart Intercontinental Championship. It's a good match, but I don't think it's as good as the Usos versus Zayn and Owens.
Yeah.
But again, maybe they're just going by legacy here. I don't know.
I do appreciate that they got Bret Hart versus Piper on here from WrestleMania 8. That's a really underrated WrestleMania match.
The Intercontinental, isn't that what I just said?
Oh, is that what you said? Sorry. 25, good match. Go check it out if you haven't seen it.
It's WrestleMania week, man. We're just jamming out so much content.
The fact that match is behind Stone Cold versus Kevin Owens, though, that's ridiculous.
Yeah, I know. Stone Cold versus Kevin Owens shouldn't even be on here. What's number 50? What eked in? Oh, Cody Rhodes versus Seth Rollins. Yeah. Cody Rhodes WWE return.
Yeah, when Cody came back.
And then right above that is Sting versus Triple H. I feel like that should at very least be flipped.
Yeah.
Which one is it? So wait, Rock versus John Cena at WrestleMania 28.
That's the first one.
Is that supposed to be the good one or the bad one?
Wasn't the second one where The Rock tore a bunch of muscles?
The second one was supposed to be the bad one, right?
I think so, because The Rock tore a bunch of muscles doing it. Or was that the first
one?
So
wait a second. This is nuts to me. The second one, which I think is a crappy one, didn't even make it on this list?
Yeah, that's right.
And this one, featuring two people heavily featured in the story to this year's main event, is only at number 48?
Yeah, that's interesting, isn't it?
And it's below a lot of things. It's below 47 other matches.
Yeah.
But one of those is Goldberg versus Brock Lesnar.
That match was like 4 minutes long. It was a fun 4 minutes, but it was also just 4 minutes long.
I wasn't watching during WrestleMania 23. That was the one with Trump on it. But John Cena versus Shawn Michaels was the main event.
Oh, that's a really good match.
That's what I've heard. I don't know if I've seen that, though.
That's one where Cena makes his entrance and he's in a car and it drives through some glass.
Oh, I did see that one.
Yeah, you've seen that one.
I've seen that one. Yeah, I remember that. It was a Mustang, wasn't it?
Maybe.
I think it was a Mustang. Becky Lynch versus Bianca Belair from, when was this? 38.
Yeah, it's a pretty recent one. It was a good 36. Match. It was really good.
Yeah, that was a good match. Edge versus Undertaker. Remember anything about that one?
No. I don't think I've ever seen it, though. That's when I wasn't watching wrestling.
Yeah, I don't know if I've seen that one. Let's see here. Anything else that stands out? I don't know. We'll ask the friendos. What do you guys think? What stands out to you? What's bullshit about this list here? And then just let us know in the comments.
I'm really surprised that Bret versus Stone Cold didn't get number one. They're putting it in the Hall of Fame this year.
That is weird, right? It was like kind of a weird swerve.
It was.
I really want to know who's what's the thought process there? They had time up until 3 days ago to flip that script. All you got to do is change the thumbnail and then upload it on the next day.
Exactly.
But I mean, that just means that Undertaker versus Shawn Michaels. Yeah, why? Why is it that Bret Hart versus Stone Cold is number 2, but it's in the Hall of Fame?
And then that, of course, the question that needs to be answered then is why isn't Undertaker and Shawn Michaels getting into the Hall of Fame instead of?
Whoa!
What?
I got it figured out.
What?
Next year they're gonna do this again. Just re-upload the matches, but slightly change the order.
And they're gonna flip the top 2, aren't they?
Because Bret Hart versus Stone Cold isn't in the Hall of Fame yet. That adds to its legacy as of this weekend, and that puts it over the top at number 1.
All right, we'll see.
But then the following year, because Undertaker versus Shawn Michaels is going to go in next year, that'll get number 1 again.
Wow. But then what about, like, how far down the list does that extend? Like, if The Rock versus Hogan goes into the Hall of Fame, does that have a chance to get up to the number 1 spot then?
Again, I don't know who's putting this stuff together. If that person like goes find another job and then there's a new digital master that gets the job, is this whole list going to get just jumbled up by next year? We need to know who's coming up with this shit.
Yeah, we do.
WWE just puts it out there as if it's like factual, and there's no like, rhyme or reason as to who's making these things.
I know. Like,
is it Triple H?
They
Is
should
it
put
Nick Khan?
credits here, like playlist created by,
compiled by
digital media department. I don't know, whoever.
Right? Who are these people? It's not the IWC. Triple H hates them, so he wouldn't give that a pass.
No.
Anyways, yeah, hit that subscribe button. We'll see you guys at WrestleMania for the watch along. Not there. We're not going to.
Yeah, we're not going to go there. Tickets are way too expensive.
Fuck that.